This is something I very recently joined and something that has been a significantly big part of my life in the last couple of months. My wife knows the best. So I'm originally from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it's been such a pleasure to eat local food here tonight. So thanks to Chef. And so we are a very young foundation, and we are also very young in terms of average age. We like to describe ourselves to be kind of just, in our country things go very slowly. I come every year and things haven't been changing for years, so we try to call ourselves an accelerator. We try to bring 21st century to our country, which is in Europe, but unfortunately it's kind of always somewhere on the backward side. And we think that we can only do that through empowering the youth. We don't, unfortunately, believe that politics can improve too much in our country, and we are just a group of young people who try to bring education and technology and development to our country. This is our board of directors, and the only reason why I'm showing this picture to you, which would not mean anything else, is that you can see these are young people. But besides being young people, these are very successful professionals in their own field. And unfortunately, none of them, maybe one of them, came back home to Bosnia. If you're familiar more or less with the history of our country, you will know that there was a horrible war that we are still suffering from, consequences from which we are suffering from, and most of these people are not living back home, not by their choice. But they still, same as Dennis, they still have preserved some kind of feeling and some kind of, I wouldn't call it a duty because none of us are really being pushed to do this, but we really believe that our experiences from around the world can help people back home. So we are small, but we are growing. This network is people who are committed to foundation work every day. So that's more than 200 people who are really spending significant portion of our free time to support the work. There's way more people who have been included through activities recently. As you can see, I'm this small dot here, and people have been so excited to have somebody from Bosnia and China. Again, we are in China, so numbers work a bit differently here. You have to understand that we are a country that probably is falling down in numbers, and now we don't have more than maybe 3.5 million. So all the numbers that you will see that I'm very proud of to you are going to be like, what? 200? Okay. So as our core focus is education, I would like to just briefly go with you to what we offer to students back home. First of all, through the network of people that we have in our foundation, we try to give access to students who have no idea how is to work, how to get into network, how to get into business. We give them access to top-class professionals, and we try to give them some significant advice. We do that through a couple of different things. The most popular and the most important part, as you can see in this circle, is mentorship. I'm a mentor, and every person who feels that can bring something to foundation has responsibility to take a couple of more younger, usually university students, but also high school students, that we just try to guide through difficult times in their private lives or also, of course, professional lives. Besides that, we organize numbers of webinars, online educations, career counseling, and so on. Of course, through our connections, through the network of people we already have established around the world, we always try to provide opportunities for additional education or work opportunities. Our first student and person who is now a young professional who works very closely with us is a person who went to Australia to La Trobe University just for internship. Again, my life is being changed by this group of amazing people who just keep growing, and I keep growing with them. We also organize a number of seminars, workshops, where we just try to connect, try to bring experiences back home, and also try to expose our youth, Bosnian and Herzegovinian youth, to people around the world. Of course, we really think that learning and helping young people learn is the most important aspect that we do. But of course, the world we live in, we know that sometimes impossible without financial support. So also we try to organize fundraisers, angel investment networks for projects, for studies, for internships, for startups. There's a number of people who I'm very happy to say haven't left our country just because they were people who would give them some significant financial support for their first life project. Most importantly, we think we develop young people through volunteering. And for me personally, this has been the core value that we do in Foundation. These young people we educate are asked to give back. And they give back to society we all live in through mentoring high school students, for example, to become a member of some of the number of professional organizations we work with. All of these are probably more familiar to people back in Europe, but IEEE and ISEC are global student organizations, and we're proud to say that we have a number of people who are in boards quite up high. So later I will come back to why we have high standards for our students. So as being professionals right now in China, I want to know if I'm recommending somebody for a position, even for internship or for a job position. I want to make sure that that person is credible. All of our students have to keep high grades, they have to volunteer, they have to be professional, they have to be proactive, and we really try to kind of enforce strict values that they all have to follow. Besides that, as Dennis and a couple of us are doing right now, we are trying to connect our diaspora, our talent and businesses from all around the world. Just last year, our foundation has tried to organize meetups in a number of cities around the world where we can just try to expand these opportunities, just as I'm doing right now. These are just some of the activities and things that we did in 2019 when we had our last yearly review. And again, these numbers are quite insignificant for China or even for Shanghai, but for us and for Bosnia, where again things tend to happen quite slowly, these are absolute rockstar numbers. For us to grow in 200 students and more than 200 volunteers was huge. We have launched our webinar series, our podcast series. We have organized congresses for young people from all around the world. Our students went around the world. We organized meetups around the world. Again, I get excited just by saying this because I know how difficult it is to get things from that end back home. This slide is only in Bosnian because these were the activities that we tried to do when world stopped down. When we had a lockdown, we continued. And we continued to just try to see what's the immediate next step we can do, what's the response we can provide to people back home. All of us basically became high school tutors overnight, and we tried to support students, and all of our students were included in that as well. So we just tried to support the youngest and the most vulnerable in our societies, and we gave them more than 10,000 of lessons, free lessons throughout the lockdown period. Also, a team of educators, including me, launched, again, for us, huge numbers. Up to date, I checked yesterday, we had more than 4,200 teachers from all over former Yugoslavia who were enrolled in something called Leaders of Online Learning. It's the first platform which brings online learning, e-learning to people back home, and I was super happy during these couple of months, but I have also been so sad by some of the questions and just seeing how education back home is on very low levels. But again, I think we made a big positive impact, and this is the course which is going to stay there for good, and we have created, I think, quite a good course in only a couple of months. So I try to present you the future, the Bosnian Future Foundation in general. I'm born and raised there. I've been educated around in neighboring Croatia and in UK. Originally, I'm oil and gas engineer, but I ended up teaching science internationally, and I completely love it. and right now I'm in King's College at Wuxi, here nearby. So my role is just to try to involve as many people as possible in the work of foundation. How we can do that and what we can offer to you here, what we can offer to the world of professionals, highly experienced people from all around the world. First thing is, of course, having our students in mind. It's just that we really have highly motivated, qualified students who are eager to move anywhere. Unfortunately, eager to move anywhere, but same in my example, one day I will go back home and I really hope for these kids to have the experience of Shanghai, of China, and then coming back home with that knowledge would just be a game changer. So currently we have more than 1,000 students who, as I said before, they are all great students. We are not taking somebody who is just going to be like, oh, maybe this is a good opportunity for a job or internship. We really try to have passionate and driven young people from our country. Most of them come from IT, engineering and business background, and in our database we have more than 5,000. Besides that, we also have a number of people here, unfortunately, due to the lockdown. It's not very easy, but there's a number of business people from Bosnia Herzegovina back in China, and hopefully they will be coming back. And our role is also to try to connect them in terms of business, culture, tourism, and education. Of course, as you can see tonight, thanks to Danny, we saw some just amazing videos and shots of our country, and I would just like to inform some of you who maybe don't know anything about Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have one luck and one curse. Our luck is that everything you see around is European Union, and we are this thing in red, and we are not there, but we are almost there. And the good thing is that you can just sit in an aeroplane and go there, because we are visa free. We don't need to go to embassies and try to get Schengen visa. Just sit in the aeroplane and come to us. We are at the bottom, but when you are at the bottom, you can actually call yourself a fast-growing economy, because you can't go deeper down. So we are improving recently, and I honestly believe there is a lot of things that can go better in future. This is my birth town, Mostar, that you can see in some of the videos and images. So again, you could taste tonight the great food. You could see in the videos of wonderful nature. Unfortunately, we have too much history for such a small country, so that's why we tend to argue a lot. But it's full of opportunities, and if you are going to be, everyone here of you has something to offer to young people. If you're interested, just to take a couple of hours, not couple of hours, 1 hour of your monthly time is what we expect from our mentors. And we have a database of number of motivated students to whom your experience and your feedback and your thoughts when you were their age would be just absolutely something they can't access from back home. So if you're interested in any of these things that you heard from me tonight, you can add my WeChat or send me something to my email. And if you'd like to know more about the work of our foundation, these are our website locations. Again, sorry for interrupting your dessert. It's a blaster of dessert. It's like proper Bosnian dessert. So thank you very much for your attention.